Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Radio Free Decipher. Back with me from, gosh, where were you this time?
Parts unknown,
yeah,
basically.
Kyle.
Parts unknown. I was in Chicago at Wizard World.
How was it?
It was good. We got to hang out with some cool people. Richard LaPalmentier from, Admiral Marty from Star Wars, and Paul Blake, who played Greedo, and we took him out and went and saw a fun movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And the funny thing about that is there's
several Star Wars references.
Well, not only that, but there's one reference in particular that bags on Greedo. And, we were sitting there
with Paul Blake.
Yeah, with Paul Blake, who played Greedo. It was classic, so...
Well, we've got lots of information coming up today, but we're going to start with Lord of the Rings because we are joined today by the two people who have probably played more Lord of the Rings games than anybody else so far.
And who we have affectionately titled our Playtest Monkeys.
That would be Brian Kallenbach and Will Purdue, who have been here, almost 2 months now?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And in that time, do you have any guess as to how many games of Lord of the Rings you have played?
Jeez, I don't know, man.
Well, you figure the average about 5 or 6 games a day.
5 days a week.
5 days a week.
For 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Okay.
Sometimes 8 to 10.
So we're certainly talking in the hundreds.
Yeah, at least 100, if not 200.
Now, what have they specifically brought you guys in here to do?
Well, we're here to playtest gameplay, playtest card mechanics. Basically, just put the game through its paces before release.
Are you guys looking at not only specific game mechanics or macro game mechanics, but also like broad-reaching game mechanics?
Definitely.
Or micro mechanics and macro mechanics.
Your roles have changed over time as the game is zeroed in more on what it's going to be.
Right. When the game was first starting out, when we were first testing very simple game mechanics, I mean, just the basic rules of the game, and as time has gone on, now we're starting to test more of the card mechanics, focusing a little bit more on what the final product will look like.
Will, how many cards in particular do you think you've had an impact on? Or rules, game mechanics?
Probably about 10, 1,500 of them. No, I have no clue. No clue at all.
Well, Will's done a pretty good job today of proving a few cards non-operative.
Was that a pun? Was that a reference to a broken strategy?
It was no reference whatsoever.
I see.
It's to the point that you play that card and you're just like, okay, change it. It's no good.
Really? How many versions of the average card would you say you've seen?
For certain versions of the main characters that you'd expect, we've seen 10 or 20 iterations of them. But a couple of the lesser known things like verbs and actions and things like that, we haven't seen quite as many because the cards change so often.
Has the game undergone many huge overhauls, or?
Oh yes. Such as the whole corruption.
Yeah, this is an element that we've kind of hinted at a little bit, not talked about too much, but we've always said the game's going to have 3 ways to win, and it seems like in the events at Origins and at Gen Con we've talked a lot about completing the adventure path and killing the ring bearer. We haven't talked much about corruption.
Corruption as a strategy has gone through a lot of different iterations because we want it to have its own distinct feel from killing the ring bearer and winning through sight victory. But at the same time, we want it to accurately represent what the corruption aspect of the ring brings to the table in the books and in the movies, of course. So there's a lot of dials and knobs that have to be turned just right to make sure that corruption's not it's not overshadowing the rest of the victory path conditions, but also isn't overshadowed by them.
Right. With 3 different ways to win, there's got to be a very good balance between the 3. Because you don't want one to be overly powerful and then all decks are geared toward this one way of winning. So they've got to be balanced, and that's got to be a tough job.
It certainly is.
Is that what you've been focusing on most recently?
Well, recently we've gotten a new kind of corruption mechanics, so we've had a lot of decks lately that have dealt a lot with the corruption mechanics. And in that process we've had a various victory conditions.
Actually, also recently, they keep getting me going up there and saying, "Hey, can you guys build me some decks? I need some decks this minute," and they're like, "Geez, all right, hang on."
Yeah,
so they get decks. Any particular person in the company that's needing a deck right now for like a presentation to a distributor or to a media or something like that. You guys are in there building them.
Yeah.
Is it tough to keep it all straight? Keep track of all the changes?
Definitely.
You walk up into the playtest room. It's really amazing. You walk up into the playtest room right now, and they've got 2 giant dry erase boards with like sleeves all over them with cards slotted into the sleeves. So it's all organized up there, and they can just take out the one that's, if it's been updated, they just take out the old one and put in the new one. And then they've got charts on another one of like, okay, here's the site path, and this is how many times the ring bearer has died at this site path, and this is how many times the ring bearer's made it to the end, and this is how many times it's got corrupted and where, and it's just amazing charts that you guys are keeping up there.
There are dozens, hundreds of dots on those boards sometimes.
Well, the infamous chart that you guys are referring to was a chart trying to keep an eye on the times that we've been playing games in, and over the course of 100 games, that chart got pretty complex pretty quick. But we were finding that as we started getting into more of the card mechanics testings, that we've been having pretty much the exact same time on every game, so we pretty much stopped testing.
What is that?
Well, Will and I we're on the ball. We can do a game in about 20 minutes.
What do you think would be the average game time for a person who knows the game but isn't, as seasoned as you are?
Well, everybody's got their different styles of play. If somebody's playing a little bit more of a slower developing deck, obviously those decks are going to take like more of a 30 to 40 minute range. But if 2 players know their decks real well, know the game real well, they can probably finish games in 20 minutes.
It's a nice pace.
That's good.
And do you get much multiplayer in? Because I know multiplayer is a big aspect of Lord of the Rings.
Yay and nay.
Okay.
Not as much as we like to.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
it's difficult to pull people in, I'm sure, because everybody's frantically working on everything right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big lunchtime games.
Actually, lunchtime has pretty much been our slight escape from the game, from playing 200 games of this in the past couple months. But
wow,
we play multiplayer games when we can. A lot of the focus has been on duels or two-player games because a lot of the games.
Because there's 2 of you.
Well,
standard
it's also the fact that there's only 2 of us. But
right.
I mean, we pull in some of the designers every so often. Like we get Mike Reynolds and Tom Lischke in every so often, and we can get in a 3-player. Joe Alwyn's been in there.
How often do you have to pull people in? How often do you guys find maybe a broken strategy and have to pull them in and say, hey, look at this?
Well, this morning we've already found 3, 4 just
Ouch.
Today. Yeah. We've had pretty much a run on that lately, but whenever there's something new and major, like I said, we've been playtesting the corruption mechanics. So when you've got something that's that new and that big,
a lot of wacky things can happen.
There's bound to be lots of wacky things going on, and Will and I have been putting that through its paces today, and as such, we found quite a few
overly powered things.
Yeah.
Now you guys sound pretty excited talking about it here. Do you still enjoy playing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been times when it's maybe worn on you a little bit?
Well, yay and nay. Obviously, sitting in a room and playing a guy for 8 hours a day kind of gets wearing.
That's the part that gets tiring.
Same guy over and over again.
And we do have our days where like Brian will win all day long and I'll lose all day long.
I imagine that makes it harder.
Yeah. Like every Friday he seems to have a run on me, but rest of the time I'm pretty much.
Ouch.
Yeah. Which you can't.
But it's you guys aren't just playing with. There's got to be some freshness to it because you're not just playing with like a limited number of cards because they're constantly saying here's a new card, here's a new card. I mean they're just developing cards on the fly that you guys get to play with.
And the other thing that's refreshing about it is I can just go in there and I can build a deck set to corruption or set to fighting or try and kill the ring bearer and stuff like that. I don't have to play the same strategy.
Right.
And
there's also a lot of different routes to some of the strategies. I mean, we've got a lot of strategic depth in a lot of the strategies that we have going so far. You can play various types of discard decks. You can play kind of direct damage kind of decks and things like that. So there's a lot of different. I mean, 2 decks can be working towards the same victory condition, but still have different strategies.
Different ways of doing it.
Well, I would ask you to name your favorite card at this point, but I think that would be violating some copyright rules somewhere. So
Bob. No.
Bob. There is no Bob.
That'll be an inside joke that everybody will get someday, I'm sure.
There we go.
Probably not.
Do you have a favorite deck style at this point?
I like fighting a lot.
You like fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
My personal favorite, whenever I read through the books and felt anything with Lord of the Rings, my personal favorite character has been Aragorn. So I tend a lot to the Aragorn kind of man decks rather than going the elf or dwarf route. But
sure. Okay. Well, thank you for sitting with us and sharing a little bit of behind the scenes.
Yeah, and get back up there and help us make a great game.
Yeah, put us back in the chains up there.
That's right.
Okay, so we turn now to some of our other games because there's a lot of news we got to share with you this week.
Yeah, though that was a really good interview. That was some really good information on Lord of the Rings. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, they really do seem like they're still enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's great because
that's a lot of games in a short amount of time.
No kidding.
That would tend to burn a lot of people out, but that speaks volumes to the longevity of and freshness of that game.
The game is going to be better for those guys.
Oh yes.
All right. So,
what do you got for us today, Evan?
Well, we got Boon to Eve Pod Race that's like right coming up here.
September 5th. That's good stuff. A lot of people that attended Wizard World this last weekend got to see a bunch of Boon to Eve because there was a pre-release and stuff. And boy, Omar, I'll talk. Omar out there, how you doing? You were having some fun with all that Boon to Eve. He's loving it. Took second in the Boon to Eve tournament and all that, and really happy to see the excitement out there for Boon to Eve.
Outstanding. Now you guys are heading down to Dragon Con. Next week.
Yep, next week. I leave on Wednesday. The convention is actually Friday through Monday of next week.
This is the last of the big U.S. summer convention.
That's right. And we're going to do all kinds of fun stuff there. There's going to be some more Boon to Eve pre-release tournaments. There's going to be Borg pre-release tournaments.
Pre-release tournaments. And as a matter of fact, they are rolling off the presses even now. I have real cards in real packaging on my desk.
They're coming so soon.
Yes, so there will indeed be a pre-release for the Borg. 2 of them, I think, at Dragon Con.
I hope so, man. The more the merrier.
And
so you got another preview for us of some Borg cards, man?
I do, because since we're a month out now from the release, less than a month out, I guess that puts us officially in Borg month.
Borg month.
So here you go.
Prepare to be assimilated.
Now, we figured since we were able to announce that Vaughn is going to be joining us at, Vaughn Armstrong is going to be joining us at Dragon Con.
That's right.
We figured we'd give you another one of his cards as today's little spoiler.
So, when you show up playing the Borg pre-release tournament, you can maybe get one of these cards and have him sign it.
Yep. Now, everybody, of course, has already seen DeCaren. That was the big oversized card.
That's right.
Lansor went up on the site yesterday.
That's also Vaughn Armstrong.
That is Vaughn Armstrong. Here is the alter ego of Lansor. That is 2 of 9. It is, of course, a Borg affiliation card. Card number 66R. He is a rare. He is Defense Subcommand, Delta Quadrant, of course, as a Borg. That does mean his attributes are Integrity 5, Cunning 5, Strength 7.
Okay.
Identification, Translator Drone.
What is a Translator?
A Translator is a key bit of circuitry that goes in like every major computer component in the future. This is just, you can look that up in your encyclopedias.
Yipes.
And those of you who are tracking the alphabetical Borg layout will know that fits oh so snugly between transport and transwarp.
Excellent.
His task, primary adjunct of Unimatrix 01 and biological distinctiveness humanoid. His skills are science, physics, and security. Probably not too big a surprise to those of you who saw the Lansor card. And then he has this big, long special skill.
Big, long,
2 lines. Once each turn, may discard a card from hand to place bottom 2 cards of discard pile beneath draw deck.
Wow.
He's allowing you to return cards from your discard pile back to your deck. This is good for Borg players who want to play a shorter deck that are worried about running out of cards to probe with.
Right.
You can start turning them back from your discard pile into your draw deck.
Great.
And that should be showing up in a fair amount of board decks, I would think.
Everybody needs to play with Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn is cool.
Excellent. Wait, are you gonna get me some of those cards so I can get some autographs from Vaughn down there?
Absolutely.
In Atlanta.
I have one copy of this particular card that came in the quality control.
We'll fight
checks,
over it.
But yeah, we won't tear it in half. But we'll figure something out.
Excellent.
Now, speaking of upcoming products, there's Reflections 3, not too far off.
That's right. I have it's coming out after the Borg, so I'm not quite ready yet to give any kind of a release date or anything like that. But I do have a little bit of information that I'm willing to share today.
What do you have?
Well, we have done Reflections products in the past.
That's right.
This Reflections products also, I believe Reflections 2 also had 100 foils. Reflections 3 has 100 foils as well. Okay. However, the additional cards that are the brand new gameplay cards,
right?
There's going to be more of them in Reflections 3.
Okay.
There's going to be 100 extra gameplay cards, brand new gameplay cards in Reflections 3.
That's outstanding.
That's a lot. That's really cool. And some of them are just, you're going to see main characters. You're going to see stuff from all over the place. It's going to be really, really neat.
Very cool.
Yeah. So.
Now, that's probably going to do a splash of Episode 1 environment.
There's going to be some Episode 1. There's going to be some classic stuff to enhance classic strategy stuff, to enhance new stuff. There's a brand new card type in there. That,
really?
Yeah, I'm not willing to share that yet, but a brand new card type in there. So everybody, keep your eyes out. We're going to be giving more information all the time on Reflections 3. So
and speaking of foils, aren't people finding out about the Darth Maul with lightsaber and Qui-Gon with lightsaber?
I think some people are, but I didn't get the okay to talk about that today. So unfortunately, I'm not going to give away the gameplay today.
Guys,
hopefully you'll see it on the website soon. If not, we'll try and get it in next week on RFD.
I tried for you guys.
I know, Evan. You valiant effort, man.
All right,
valiant effort.
Maybe next week.
So
there you have it. You'll be out next week, so I'll be flying solo again.
That's right. And pretty much that's all the news fit to talk about today.
Okay, great. Everyone out there, have a good weekend.
Alrighty.